Actually, we're the ones hosting this event. The HEPA, many of you know, was established in 1922 in response to discrimination against Greeks. And the Daughters of Penelope was 7 years later in 1929. One of our main objectives was to naturalize our Greeks who came from Greece to become American citizens, and that was 100 years ago. So now here we are, and we have a discussion amongst many of our members who are from the Greek diaspora who would like to become Greek citizens. So I established a committee for the daughters here to learn about becoming a Greek citizen. And where is Vaso? Dr. Vaso Yakomides is the chairman of this, and she has arranged this presentation today. So thank you for coming, and I'd like to introduce Vaso now.
Good afternoon, and I would like to congratulate the newly elected Paris Council members. Καλή δύναμη. Not too long ago, I got an article from the Greek Consul that says that the Greek passport ranks 6th among 199 countries. Also allows free visa to 189 countries worldwide. That is important, but to me, the most important thing to acquire a Greek passport is to leave a legacy to our children and grandchildren who have a rich culture, a rich history, and I think in order to preserve it, we'll have to bypass to our children and grandchildren. It's our honor today to have members from the Greek Consulate, and I would like to introduce the Honorary Consul of Greece to Houston, Mr. Lambros Kakissis, who is going to tell us how we can acquire Greek citizenship. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I would like also to congratulate the new members of the Paris Council of the Annunciation Cathedral, and of course to congratulate the daughters of Penelope for organizing this event today, and in particular its President Chrissy Polidoros and its Vice President Dr. Vaso Yakomides. Taking into consideration all the emails and phone calls that we receive every day at the consulate regarding issues of Greek citizenship, I think that hosting such an event today is very important, and together with Mrs. Irene Kefalogianni, it's the three of us at the Consulate of Greece in Houston who deal with citizenship issues. We'll try to answer your questions and clarify some issues that regard citizenship, and I'm sure that you will have, because on many occasions these are very complex issues. Since the first semester of 2020, the number of inquiries about how to obtain Greek citizenship has increased tremendously. We have an increase of 60 to 70%. And I'm sure that all of you have several questions that you have the opportunity to ask, to make these questions after we complete the first part of the discussion. Let's start with explaining what is citizenship. Let's try to define this term. The notion of citizenship, the legal term, describes the relationship between an individual and the state. And it is important to differentiate this term from the term of ethnicity. On the one hand, this citizenship is a political and legal notion. As we mentioned before, it describes the relationship between state and citizen, and it entails certain rights and obligations. On the other hand, the ethnicity has a more ethical and cultural dimension. That is the relationship of an individual with the culture and the values of a specific country. And in your case, that all of you have Greek ethnicity, but maybe half of you are not registered Greek citizens. The question we need to answer today is how a person acquires Greek citizenship or Greek nationality. A person acquires Greek citizenship at the time of birth if he or she is born to a parent of Greek nationality. In other words, someone should be the offspring of a Greek citizen. A Greek citizen is a person who is duly registered in the records of a municipality of the Hellenic Republic. Registration in the municipal records of the Hellenic Republic is the legal proof, in other words, of Greek citizenship. As such, the certificate of registration constitutes legal proof of Greek citizenship. And that brings us to the next question. How can I find if I'm a registered municipality in Greece? Because we have dealt with many occasions at the Greek consulate where people are not sure if are registered Greek nationals, Greek citizens. There are very positive developments regarding that issue, given that since the beginning of 2022, all consular offices of Greece abroad have been linked electronically with the Greek National Registry. And so we have full access, in other words, to the Greek National Registry. Any one of you who would like to make sure if he or she is registered, you can contact us, and in a couple of minutes we can find out, we can retrieve your registration with the Greek National Registry. We can retrieve birth certificates, family status certificates, and many other records from the Consul municipality in Greece. So, next question is how to register your vital life acts. The family status certificate or family registration certificate, το πιστοποιητικό οικογενειακής κατάστασης, as we say in Greek, depicts your family status. How does it work? It works in two ways. First, on the certificate, and more specifically at the MTVofUSA είδος εγγραφής, type of registration, there is a statement, κανονική εγγραφή, which means a standard registration. If we find that, this means that you are a Greek citizen. If it states ενδεικτική εγγραφή, indicative registration, your registration is complete. Your registration, in other words, is pending. The second way that this certificate works is the case where the parents are married and have registered their marriage with the Greek state. The certificate shows, or better proves, that the marriage registration of your parents is complete, or else the spouses have common οικογενειακή μερίδα, family registration status. In this case, their children can become Greek citizens. They can apply for Greek citizenship, in other words. If the parents are Greeks, if both the parents are Greeks, or if the father is Greek, the mother is a foreign national, and the child is born after July 18, 1982, or in the case that only the mother is Greek, a registered Greek national, and the father is a foreigner, and you are born after May 8, 1984. What is the process to register your birth? This is the first case. It's the fast track. You get a Greek citizenship when you register your birth. First of all, you should contact the consulate, the registry and citizenship department, which means Mrs. and by phone or by email, describing your case. And the consulate will reply to you, providing you with the requirements that apply to your case. Once your case becomes mature, we can proceed with booking an appointment. What are the requirements? First of all, there should be a family status certificate of the parents with the Greek National Registry. Your parents should have registered their marriage with the Greek municipality. They should have πιστοποιητικό οικογενειακής κατάστασης, the family registration certificate. If this is the case, we will ask you to provide us with your long birth, the long form birth certificate of yours, certified with the apostille stamp. In case you are over 18 years old, we will also ask you to provide us with your US passport. For those of you who do not know what is the apostille stamp, it is all American certificates, birth, marriage, death certificates, should be certified by apostille. They should have the stamp of apostille or the stamp of the Hague. In other words, apostille is an international stamp that proves that a document issued by a foreign government, e.g. the US government, is authentic for use in another country, and in our case, for Greece. Who can register the birth? The adult applicant can do it. In case of a minor, in case of someone who is under 18 years old, the Greek citizen parent will register the birth. And the registration is complete overnight for minors on most occasions. For adults, it can take up to a couple of months, but not more than that. In the past, when I say the past, a few years ago, this registration took at least 9 months. But since the beginning of 2020, sometimes it happens overnight. So what happens if the parents have not registered their marriage with the Greek National Registry? In this case, we need to register the marriage of the parents so that a new family status record is open in Greece under the name of the parents. In that case, we must provide us with a long-form marriage certificate of the parents, certified with the apostille stamp. The second requirement is the family status will ask you also to provide us with the birth certificate of the foreign national spouse if both the parents are not a Greek national. And the valid passports of the spouses. Who can register the marriage? The Greek national spouse can register the marriage. In case the Greek citizen is deceased, the surviving foreign spouses can register the marriage. The cost in those cases is only €20, $21. If the exchange rate, USD-Euro exchange rate is the one which is valid for January 2025, for example. And the registration is completed sometimes overnight, but it doesn't take more than a few days in the worst case scenario. Once you become a Greek citizen, you are entitled to several things. First of all, you can apply for a Greek passport. What else? You can proceed to register vital facts related to you, such as marriage and the birth of your children. First the marriage and then the birth, not both at the same time. We can register the vital facts at the Consulate of Greece in Houston if the birth has taken place in one of the 4 states of our jurisdiction, which is Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, as well as Puerto Rico and the US Virgin Islands. At this point, allow me to repeat that citizenship is a legal bond that entails rights and obligations. In this regards, individuals have the obligation to declare all changes of their family status in real time. So we strongly advise you, those of you who are registered actually Greek citizens, to take all the necessary steps to declare your vital life facts. Of course, it is possible to declare your vital life facts at a later stage. Every day we deal with cases at the consulate of Greek citizens who declare their vital life facts several years later, or even several decades later. The earlier, however, you declare all changes of your family status, the easier and the smoother is the process. The registrations are completed faster. Another important issue is that citizenship is passed on from generation to generation. Citizenship is recognized, exercised, maintained, and proven. Nevertheless, if Greek citizenship is not passed on from generation to generation, there are processes through which you can grant the Greek citizenship. In this case, however, it requires a lot of time and effort in order to restore your Greek citizenship. What is the legal framework of Greek citizenship? The legal framework is the Law 3284 of 2004 and all the amendments. The code was first drafted in 1955 and then major changes took place in 2004 and more recently also. Another important legislation is the Law 344 of 1976 on registration of vital life facts and amendments. We don't want to confuse you today with all these laws and amendments. For those of you who are interested in exploring more details regarding this legislation, these laws are accessible online. So, apart from the simple birth registration, the fast-track process, there are other special circumstances of acquiring citizenship. So, one of these is the acquisition of Greek nationality by declaration due to a birth to a Greek mother or a Greek father. So, Article 14 of this Law 3284 of 2004 actually is the legal basis for this kind of acquisition of citizenship. The Article 1 says that a child born before 8 May 1984 to a mother who was Greek at the time of the child's birth or at the time of the marriage to which this child was born can become a Greek citizen if he or she expresses his or her wish to the General Secretary of the prefectures or to the Greek consular authorities of the area of domicile or residence. Paragraph 2 of this article is about the acquisition of Greek nationality by declaration due to birth to a Greek father. So a child born to a Greek father and an alien mother before the enforcement of law 2015-1982 can become a Greek citizen as he or she is considered legit. Another occasion that someone can acquire the Greek citizenship is Article 26, acquisition of Greek nationality from birth by issuance of a declaratory decision. So a child born, this procedure involves the declaration of Greek nationality from birth and concerns first a child born in a wedlock to parents who were not Greek at the time of birth, but who acquired Greek nationality after the child was born. The second case is a child born before 18 July 1982 in a wedlock to a Greek father joined to a foreign mother by marriage deemed valid under Greek law. And the third case is a child born before May 8, 1984 in wedlock to a Greek mother joined to a foreign father by marriage deemed invalid under Greek law. In order for the applicant to acquire Greek nationality, a declaratory decision must be issued. So in case another third occasions where there is no direct link between a Greek parent, a registered Greek parent and a child, and the link goes between a Greek grandparent and grandchild, or even a Greek great-grandparent and great-grandchild. This is naturalization of foreign nationals of Greek origin who live abroad. Article 10 is the one that regards your case. The application for naturalization of foreign nationals of Greek origin living abroad should be submitted to the Greek consul of the area of residence of the applicant. The Greek consul in turn forwards the application to the Ministry of the Interior, Decentralization and E-Governance, together with a report including all data and all necessary that are necessary to establish that the applicant enjoys the status of foreign national of Greek origin. The following documents are submitted together with the application. First, a naturalization statement that is given before the Greek consul in the presence of two Greek citizens acting as witnesses. In our case, and in order to facilitate the process and make your life easier, it's normally Miss Repusi, one of the witnesses, and another employee of the consulate. who co-sign this naturalization statement. Second, a photocopy of passport or of any other travel document. Third, a birth certificate, or in case that cannot be provided, baptismal certificate. And fourth, criminal record issued by the foreign authorities, the FBI reporting in the USA, for example. Then the competent authority of the Ministry of the Interior, Decentralization and Governance of Greece, after the examination of the file of the foreign national of Greek origin, and following the opinion of the Ministry of Citizen Protection on matters concerning the public order and security, recommends to the Ministry of the Interior to either accept or reject the application for naturalization. So, I would like to clarify that the Greek consulate in Houston will apply the relevant Greek legislative provisions to your specific case and provide explanation as to the existence of prerequisites for Greek citizenship, and will also guide you regarding the procedure of the exercise of the right. In all instances, however, it is not the consulate that ascertains citizenship, as this falls within the jurisdiction of the decentralized administrations in Greece and the Greek Ministry of Interior. As such, Greek consular authorities do not grant citizenship. Instead, through the provisions of Greek law and its stipulated procedures, they assist you to exercise the right to citizenship. So I will give you the opportunity now to make your questions. Yes, please go ahead.
So some of our parents are Greek, but were born in Egypt, for example. Fortunately, my father does have documentation from his father that they were Greek citizens. Does that complicate things, or?
It does complicate things a little bit, but not an insurmountable problem. Normally, if we find the registration of, let's say, your parents or your great-grandparents, that's easier because it's a proof that your ancestors were registered Greek citizens. However, you can try to, I would recommend that you apply for the acquisition of Greek citizenship through Article 10, that means naturalization. I will, please contact us, give us details about your family, first and last name of your father, your Greek father, his date of birth, and we'll try to find out if he's registered with the Greek National Registry. If not, you need actually to provide us with the Egyptian birth certificate of his, and then to make all the connections live event by live event. That means his marriage certificate, birth certificate of your mother, then birth certificate of yours, marriage certificate of yours in case you are married, and also birth certificate of your children if they are minors, if they are under 18 years old. The good thing regarding this case is that if you are granted the Greek nationality, automatically the Greek citizenship will pass to your minor, to your children who are under 18 years old.
Yeah, if we have found out already that our parents are not registered in Greece in their municipality, is there a way to do that at this point?
Your parents were born in the US, they were born in Greece, and he is not registered. He is not registered. Yes, he can do it. We'll contact the municipality where he was. Where was he born? Lambros Kakissis. Do you have any birth certificate of his? Okay, I will contact the municipality of Piraeus, and does he live in Houston? Okay, so he has to visit our office, and he will have to sign an application asking the city of Piraeus to register him with his municipal records, and also he will have to sign an affidavit that he is not registered in another Greek city or town. and will also provide the city of Piraeus with a copy of his US passport. So we have actually to make sure that names should appear consistently in all documents. That's very important. On all documents, American and Greek names should appear phonetically the same. That's why we provide the Greek authorities with his American passport in order to register him in exactly the same way as he is known in the US.
How do you obtain a birth certificate of a deceased parent born in Trikala?
So as I mentioned before, our consular office is electronically connected with the Greek National Registry and with all municipalities in Greece. If you are lucky, you will be able to retrieve your father's birth certificate. If not, you will give us details about his name and date of birth, etc., and names of his parents, and we will contact the city of Trikala, and we will ask them to provide us with your father's birth certificate. It is doable.
I've been doing an application to get citizenship for a few years, and I had to, through my mother who was born in Athens. She married an American citizen who was Greek, but one of the stumbling blocks has been that my father's name was spelled with one letter, an A, in his last name. I had to go to court because the attorney that I was working with in Greece said I had to have the same spelling of my maiden name. So I went to the court and changed my maiden name, and now they want me to change my maiden name on my marriage certificate so that it can be, congruent with the documents. Why do I have to change my marriage certificate, my maiden name on my marriage certificate to proceed? Because the county that I was married in said they will not change my maiden name on my marriage certificate, so I'm stuck.
So when someone applies for Greek citizenship through Articles 14 or 26, Greek authorities always ask that the names appear consistently in all documents in exactly the same way. And this on many occasions complicates the situations, and it takes many years for these problems to be resolved. If you think that it's impossible to reach a solution, then I would say that plan B would be the naturalization. We'll try to connect you with your Greek grandparents in order for you to become. Are you a Greek national? You're not a Greek national. You want to work. Okay. Contact us, give us some details, and we'll try to reach the Greek authorities, explain the situation, and if you cannot find a solution, then the plan B would be the naturalization for you.
I will say on that note, I had to change my mother's, basically her identity to match her Greek birth certificate, and then change my marriage certificate using that document. So if you change did you have the American document changed? Or the Greek document changed to say that the name is spelled correctly?
I have the American document. I went to court.
Then the county should do that, because I went through the same process and they did it with that documentation.
They did, but they can't change my marriage.
They changed my marriage certificate. No. In the state of Oregon, they did, using the documents that I changed. So I think it might be the personnel that you're working with. So I just want you to know that that can be done, and I've done it.
I'm going to be working on this. My mother was born in Samos, so I'm going to be working on getting my citizenship, but I also want to get my 2 boys who are minors citizenship. Can you talk about military exemptions and how that works and how often you have to renew and all that kind of thing? They're 14 and 15.
Your mother only is a Greek national. Then when you are granted the Greek citizenship, at the same time your 2 children, since they are 14 and 12 years old, they will also be granted the Greek citizenship. When in the first quarter of the year, when they will be turning 18, they will have to do the apographies to register with the Greek military service. The following year, during the year that they will be turning 19, they will be asked to join the army. At that time, you should provide us with a number of certificates proving that your children have been living outside of Greece for the past 11 years. You have to contact, in other words, elementary schools, middle school, high school, and universities in case they have started studying at the university. And also, if you have signed a contract, the lease, for example, or if you have bought the property, that's a proof that the family resides abroad. And also the W2 form, your tax returns. That's a proof that your children and the family have been living outside of Greece for the last, the previous 11 years. And they will be granted the status of a Greek who lives abroad. That will entitle them to visit Greece up to 6 months per calendar year, no more than that, because they will be considered to be permanent residents of Greece. And nobody will ask them to join the Greek army. And starting from the 1st of January of the year that will be turning 45, they will be totally exempt from military obligations.
Do they have to renew them regularly?
No. Just they will do it once, and then they should they should remember that they shouldn't stay in Greece for more than 6 months during a calendar year. Calendar year, that means they could stay for almost 1 year in a row. Let's say that if they visit Greece on the 2nd of July, let's say for the year 2040, and they leave the country on the 29th of June of 2041, they will be staying in Greece for almost 1 year, but it will be 5 months and 29 days in 2040, and 5 months and 29 days in the year 2041, so there will be no problem. No more than 180 days during a calendar year.
Now, I know you mentioned this, but I couldn't hear. So when I get my Greek citizenship, I, of course, want to pass it down to my children, so do they have to be over 18 for this to occur? Will it automatically pass if they're over 18?
You are not a Greek citizen yet. Was anyone of your parents a Greek? Is anyone of your parents a Greek national?
Yes.
Both of them?
Well, my mother was born there. My dad is second generation here.
So I realize that only your mother is a registered Greek citizen.
Yes.
All right. Well, you can contact us, give us some details. We have to retrieve her registration with the Greek National Registry. You can find her. Then that means that you can apply for Greek citizenship, and if your children are under 18 years old, they will be granted automatically the Greek citizenship. If they are if they're adults over 18 years old, they have to apply on their own. But in that case, they have to apply through Article 10, that means naturalization, because there will be no direct link between a Greek parent and them. The link will go between their grandparents, the parents of your mother, their maternal grandparents, and themselves.
Do you mean at the time of their birth there was no link? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean that at the time of the birth, none of the parents is a
Correct.
Greek national, a Greek citizen. Only their maternal grandparents are the Greek nationals. So the connection goes between grandparents and the grandchild. That means Article 10, naturalization in other words.
That she could register her children from her marriage. Can she do that when she does her citizenship? Does she?
If you apply and when your application, at the time when your application is examined, your children are still under 18 years old, and if you are granted the Greek citizenship, also your children, your minor children, the minors will get the Greek citizenship. If they're over 18 years old, they're totally independent. They're not connected to you. They're not dependents. They have to apply on their own.
Even though their grandmother was a citizen.
This is what I say. If there are, how old are your children?
40.
Okay, yes, they have to apply through Article 10, naturalization. They can do it. And in their name discrepancies, through this process is more effective, I would say, because name changes and this kind of problems can be more, how say, easily resolved. But all of you, yourself as well as your children, are entitled to apply for Greek citizenship through a different process, though.
So my mother and one of my sisters already have gotten their Greek citizenship. Another one of my sisters and I are running into trouble where we have been, we've been told by the Houston consulate that our status is indicative and we need to send our apostille birth certificates. They need to go to the Boston consulate because we were born outside of Boston. We haven't been able to get in touch with anybody there. We've reached out multiple times, but also a problem we're running into is that my middle name and my sister's middle name at the office in Greece were mistakenly put as my mother's maiden name. And we can't get it changed back to our middle names, and that's causing a problem where we can't progress past that. And I don't know what we can do. Like, what is the next step? How do we fix that? How do we correct that? We do have our family certificate and our mom's taftotita. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly? Yeah. Okay. So where do we go from here? Thank you.
Yes, we'll, I would say, plan A, we will contact the competent municipality where your mother is registered, and we'll try to explain the situation. Another way to resolve this issue would be, but I cannot guarantee that, it's a matter that concerns the US authorities. You can ask the American registry if they can have you. They won't change your name easily, but on some occasions they are more willing to write AKA, also known as, with the name that you are known in Greece. And I will also contact the Consul General. He's a good friend in Boston, and so that he will take a look at it.
I was just wondering, I did receive my passport recently, and I was just wondering, my kids, if I understood you correctly, they are over 18. Does that mean that they would have to apply for themselves? Or because I have my passport and citizenship, do they automatically have a better chance, or do they have to apply?
When you were granted the Greek citizenship, the Greek citizenship was not also granted to your children. Your children are not Greek nationals. Is this the case? If I understood well? They are not. Your children are not Greek nationals. Since they are over 18 years old, yes, they'll have to apply on their own.
Thank you.
Yeah, my wife is a Greek citizen, and I was just curious, like, how I can go about getting citizenship. And then our children are, I guess they're 18 and over, so I'm not sure if his question was answered. So I'm just curious, like, how I go about getting citizenship, and my children that are over 18 get citizenship.
If I'm not mistaken, you are not of Greek descent, no Greek origin. You are married to a Greek citizen. The only way you can acquire the Greek citizenship is if you move to Greece and you stay there for 3 consecutive years. Given that you have registered your marriage in Greece with the Greek National Registry, then you can apply for Greek citizenship in 3 years. If you want to marry to a Greek national, it will take much longer. So your children are, how old are your children?
They're over 18.
Over 18.
20 and 18.
Okay, they can apply on their own. It's a very easy process, however. So but they have to apply on their own. They have to provide us with their long form birth certificates with the apostille stamp. And when we book an appointment, we'll register their birth with the Greek National Registry, and we'll also ask them to sign an application. in order to be registered in the Greek municipality where their Greek mother is registered, and an affidavit that they're not registered in the municipal records of another Greek city or town, together with a copy of their US passport, valid US passport.
It's pretty easy.
Pretty easy for them, yes.
For me, like
For you, only if you move to Greece and then you stay there for 3 years.
I can do that.
But even without without being granted the Greek citizenship, given that you are not a Greek national, if you ever decide to move to Greece, you can apply for an extended residence permit, and it will be easy for you to stay there.
So as I'm walking, I'm going to clarify on these two, because it is the same for me. When my kids were, I have 4 kids, 2 were under 18, so I created my Medida, my family tree, and the 2 under 18 are under me. And my 2 older children, it was just explained to me, have to create their own family tree. So they have to apply independently, and they're not going to be under me, they're going to be linked to me, correct? And so I'm helpful to help them get their citizenship to prove that, but they're going to have their own line. And as I was told by one of the ladies up there, in Greece, I'm first in my line, and for a woman, that's the only time I will be first in Greece.
So it was an easy process.
You can just basically answer this yes or no and then tell us where to go find details on it. But other than the advantage of travel that the Greek passport gives you, is there any advantage in terms of buying or selling property there that you would have with the Greek citizenship? And that's a complicated answer. You can just say yes or no and tell us where to find the answers.
Actually, yes, simple answer is yes. But a Greek passport, apart from traveling, entitles you to seamless stay and work in any other EU member state. And it will be very easy for you to do business in any other member of the European Union.
What about education?
Education also. If, for example, your children would like to study in a European university, they don't need to apply for student visa, etc. They need no visas, and on some occasions they are entitled to lower fees, tuition fees.
One is, where do I get my documents translated into Greek if I already have the apostille certificate? And the second is, if my name is on the appointment list, how long do I have to wait to get an appointment at the consul's office?
Your US documents can be translated. You have many options. For example, there is a website in which you can find all certified translators by the Greek government. Another option would be to find a lawyer who may be stationed in the US. However, if he is registered in a Greek lawyer association, his or her translations are accepted by the Greek state. Another option is to find someone who has a university degree from this university for translations for Corfu. But even the consulate will help you with the translations. Regarding the appointment, when you get the appointment, if it is a complicated citizenship file, then you have to gather all documents, and when you are ready, you will be granted the appointment. If it is for other issues or more simple, like applying for a passport, you can give an appointment maybe tomorrow.
Does she need
the next day.
Translation to be completed?
Yes, the translation, you first have actually to get the apostille stamp on all the US documents, and then the documents need to be translated. When everything is in place, we will give you the appointment.
So if both my parents were born in Greece, came to the United States in the 60s and became citizens, so did they automatically give up their Greek citizenship? And does that affect, because my understanding is that becoming a dual citizen is different than just coming, so once you become a US citizen, did they give up their citizenship?
On most occasions, when registered Greek nationals become US citizens, they do not give up their Greek citizenship. It's up to them. There are some cases, however, where some Greek nationals, when they are become naturalized American citizens, they give up their Greek citizenship. I would advise that you contact us and we'll try to retrieve the registration of your parents if both of them are still registered Greek nationals. You can. Are you a registered Greek national or not? Not. So, if both your parents are still registered Greek nationals, we can register you very, very easily, through a very simple process. If just one of your parents is still a registered Greek national, it's getting a little bit more complicated. In case, for example, your mother is the Greek national, and you are born before May 8, 1984, or your father is the Greek national and you are born before July 18, 1982. Then it's getting more complicated, but we can still, however, apply for Greek citizenship.
My children are over 18 in college. They were not born here in Houston. I'd like them to go through the naturalization process. Their permanent residence is here in Houston. Should they work with the consulate here for naturalization, or in New York City where they are?
Where are they born?
They're born on the East Coast, so not in the...
And then, are you a Greek national? You are a Greek national or not?
I am not.
You're not? Is their father, your then naturalization?
Naturalization, yes.
Naturalization, actually, they have...
I have to give it back.
If it is a birth registration, then what is important is the Greek consular authority, which is responsible for registering this birth, it depends on the place of birth. If, for example, your children were born in New York, our consul general in New York City should register the birth. However, if we're talking about naturalization, then what is crucial is residency. If your children live in Texas, for example, we will prepare their application for naturalization. And as Christy mentioned before, when someone is a registered Greek national, there is in the content Greek municipality, a family record is open. If your children are registered and they are under 18 years old, your children will be included in this family record of the parents. However, if they apply on their own, if they are over 18 years old, they're adults, when they are registered, a new family record will be open under their name.
You may have addressed this earlier, but I did come in a little later. What are the current military obligations for young men, and what continuing obligations would a citizen have that lives outside of Greece?
In order to avoid joining the Greek army, you have to provide us with evidence that you have been living outside of Greece for the past 11 consecutive years, or that you have been working outside of Greece for the past 7 years. However, if you are born, let's say, outside of Greece and you decide at a certain stage to join the Greek army, it's only for 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. And by the way, if you provide us with evidence that you have been living outside of Greece for 11 years or working for the past 7 years, you will be granted the special status of a Greek who lives abroad. That means that you will be entitled to stay in Greece and visit Greece up to 180 years, up to 6 months per calendar year, without losing this status. If you stay more than that, you will be considered to be a Greek citizen, and that means you will be asked to join the Greek army.
If there's a war and all of a sudden there's a need, does that status go away? I mean, that's the question I get from people all the time is, what's going to say that the law doesn't change, right?
I know that Israel,
right? Yeah.
And if they have a war, they have very often, they ask Israelis who live abroad to they are obliged actually to return back to their country and serve the Israeli military forces. In Greece, however, this doesn't happen. So no worries, because many people, really, I would say the overwhelming majority of Greek men who live abroad, they're afraid that they will be asked to join the Greek army. No, you will be granted the status of a Greek who lives abroad and will have no problems.
Thank you.
Kalimera, thank you for coming. I have a question about myself. I am a registered citizen via my father. So I was born here. I have registered through my family, but now I am married, and of course took my husband's name, and that seems to be a complicating factor when you change your name, right, from your Neofytides. Now it's got another last name. And then my children, of course, have the father's last name. And then if I want to establish citizenship for my kids or minors, do I have to do like my own line, register for my own line, I guess, in the family?
So, you are a registered Greek national, however, you haven't registered your marriage with the Greek national register. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Where did you get married? Was it in Texas?
Yes.
Okay. Then please provide us with your marriage certificate, the long form with the apostille. We can register your marriage at the time with the registration of your marriage. If you like, you can leave your last name the way you are registered in Greece. However you like, we can take a note that your last name will change to your husband's last name after your marriage. Then your last name will be changed accordingly in the Greek National Registry.
I don't mind.
So practically, however, when after we register your marriage and your husband is included in your family record, if 99% you will still be under the family record of your father. When we register your marriage, a new family record will be opened under your name. You will have the standard registration, κανονική εγγραφή. Your husband will be included with an indicative registration, ενδεικτική εγγραφή αλλοδαπού of a foreigner. And right after the family record will be opened, it can take only 1 day or a few days. Please provide us with the birth certificates of your children, and we will include your children under your family record, however with their real last name, the last name of your husband.
With the apostille
In
and the translation.
all those US, no, without translations. We need the translations only when someone applies through Articles 26, 14, and 10. 10 is naturalization. The 14 is by declaring you're willing to acquire the Greek citizenship, and 26, and when the Greek authorities will ascertain your Greek origin. In the case of when you have a simple registration, birth registration, marriage registration, or registration of a death, we don't need translations. Just the apostille stamp, nothing else. And we will also need to have the birth certificate of your husband, given that he will be included in your family record. Apart from his on your marriage certificate, only his first and last name will appear. We need to have other details like the first and last names of his parents, date of birth, place of birth. That's why we need to have his birth certificate. Later on, when we register your children, it will be very, very simple. All of that, it won't take more than a few weeks. That means in a few weeks from today, you will have a new family record, and your children, if they are under 18 years old, they will be included in that family record, and they can apply for Greek passports. And in case for when you apply for your next Greek passport, I would recommend that you have both last names. You will have the your Greek last name, or the American. You have both of them. So you will have no problems. Greek authorities or American authorities, wherever you show this passport, they understand that you are the one and same person.
So does the husband become a citizen in that?
No, the husband will have an indicative registration as a foreigner, not as a Greek national. However, it's in the case that if they decide to move to Greece, 3 years after they move to Greece, he can apply for Greek citizenship.
Okay, and as I'm walking this back, I'm going to say that the apostille is the same as a notary, but it's international and it comes from the state capital. So you make your, like, I was married in Oregon, so I had to get mine from the state capital of Oregon, from where I was married, born, where my mom was married. But the apostilles of my marriage, no, of my children, where they were born in Texas, came from Austin. So you send the documents in, they verify they're authentic, they staple a paper to it, and you're done. So that's what the apostille is, the big mystery.
Thank you so much for answering all of our questions. This has been very, very helpful. I have a question similar to citizenship. I do plan to apply. I think I'd have to apply Article 10 to naturalization. My grandparents were born in Greece. My parents were born here in Texas. My question for you is a question of inheritance has come up for property for my father who is deceased. So I am needing to get a tax ID number of that for Greece, but I do not yet have my citizenship. So we're working through that process, and I'm curious, do I need to gain citizenship before I can get a VAT? Or can I apply for this tax ID number, this VAT, to complete this matter of inheritance first, and then apply for my naturalization afterwards?
As a foreigner, if you have property in Greece, you will be given a tax number, tax ID. However, if you apply for Greek citizenship, you become officially a registered Greek national. You can also have a tax ID that I think will help you out with those inheritance issues.
Hi, thank you for answering all the questions. The question I have is that I was actually baptized in Greece, and thanks to Google Translate, I was able to translate the document, and it has my birthday on the 23rd, but I was actually born on the 24th. How do I fix that, or do I need to fix that? Is that going to be a complication when I try to apply for dual citizenship? So I was born here, and my dad's Greek. My parents got married in Greek. They took us forward, got baptized in Greek, but they just have my birthday wrong. But on my baptism certificate.
Please contact us to retrieve the info of your family, the family registration status of your Greek father, and I would like to see if you are included in the family record. In case you are included, if you have an indicative registration or a regular registration, because there is a possibility that you are registered and you don't know that. Apart from that, given that you were born in Greece, normally you should have, apart from the baptism certificate, you should have a birth certificate.
She was born in the United States.
You were born, actually, you were born here. You were born here. Okay. So the important document in your case is the birth certificate, not the baptism certificate. So we don't care if it is if there is a discrepancy there. So, but your father is a registered Greek national, you said. Okay. If you are born after July 18, 1982, your registration will be completed in a couple of months. Right before, then it will be a little bit more complicated. I hope we have no name differences.
So baptism certificates as a secondary is more important if it's all accurate, but if it's not the primary, if it's the primary thing to show that you're Greek, that might be more important.
The birth certificate.
The birth certificate is more important in that case. Who had a question?
I have a question.
Okay, you and then
In the past, Olga used to do all the translations. Is that changed now, that we can have the translations done at the consulate's office with Olga?
As I said, we have all options are open.
Forgive me, I may have missed an answer to this question. Thank you for being here. My birth certificate, we've established mother's residency, all that, citizenship. My birth certificate in New York City has her name spelled with an F instead of a T. And so, can I use my sibling's birth certificate as evidence that it is the same? I keep going back to New York and back to New York, and they keep telling me I have to go back and get her marriage certificate translated so that they can read it before they can prove that it is her who gave birth to me. Is there any way around that? I've been doing this for a year, for sure.
Have you contacted the registry in New York and asked them and explaining them that there is a mistake there, a misspelling there? No.
The registry and the consulate in New York?
No. The battery records of New York. Yes, I would suggest that we book an appointment and we have a look at those documents at the consulate, and we'll try to guide you to even to contact our colleagues in New York at the Consulate General of Greece, New York, and see what can be done.
All right, last chance for a question, and then we'll wrap it up. I think we got everybody answered. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you all for asking all your questions. Is there a code word to get an appointment faster, like Daughters of Penelope or something when we call? Can we do that? Wouldn't that be great? No, I'm kidding. We're so happy to have you here in Houston and for you to be accessible to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presence and your questions. I hope that we were able to answer some of your questions. And
Perfect.
very good to see you.